Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a few minutes since I've posted a video. Figured now would be a good time to go ahead and do it. Um, as you all know, it's been one hell of a week for me. So I went for a routine checkup on Monday um, in Richmond. My dad and I drove up, and I was told that I may likely not need a transplant because I was doing pretty well as far as my health went. Um, but they wanted to give it another 6 months. So I asked about going back to work, and they said, we still want to give it 6 months. So I said, okay, I'll just continue doing what I'm doing, which is various this and that, trying to keep up, trying to find work. It's been a little tough. Um, and then they took my blood and I went home. And the next day I was at, my dad's cutting his grass and I got a call from Richmond, and it was my transplant nurse just explaining to me all the details of the doctor visit. And nothing had changed. My medical score was still the same. Um, and some of the numbers in the blood work, which I've gotten used to like reading and I kind of know what they mean now, went down, but some of them were weighted differently, so my MELD score didn't change. And, he said the same thing. He's like, we want to give it another 6 months because you're kind of in limbo. You're really sick, but you're not sick enough. But we want to see what 6 more months of like clean living does. And then we'll let you go back to work and get back to a normal life, which, I told them I was ready for, but they said that apparently I'm not. So, anyway, Q2 4 or 5 hours later that day, Tuesday, I get a call saying that there's a donor organ. And to maybe think about heading up, they should know in an hour, and we'll, call you back. So I'm frantically getting stuff together in bags at my apartment in Norfolk, calling my girlfriend who was in Colorado, and calling my friends to see who had a key to the house so that somebody could watch my cat. And I ran over to my dad's house, and I'm sitting at my dad's house waiting. And I get a call from Richmond, and the coordinator's like, well, we're still waiting to hear, but I think we may have you come in. And thankfully, I have a friend up there, so my dad and I were on our way up to stay at my friend's house for when a bed opened up, and they called me to tell me to come to the hospital. So long story short, I get to the hospital, and I run the gambit of all these tests throughout the night. My dad goes and stays at this like little hospitality house that they have set up for patients and patients' families, and the organ in question was from a 19-year-old somewhere in South Carolina who was declared brain dead the day before, and his family pulled life support. And so this planned schedule is that they're going to be taking the organ out at 3 o'clock in the morning and flying it up to me. And I was slated to start going into surgery at 6 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. So the anesthesiologist came in at about 4:45 to explain to me what they were going to do as far as IVs and things like that, and tying me down to the bed for a few days and putting a breathing tube in and a feeding tube, and explaining everything to me. And I signed away everything. I planned on donating my liver to science so that, they could see what a cirrhotic liver looked like, because if anything, that's going to help somebody someday. That's the kind of thing that I need to do. I need to know that my past mistakes are going to help somebody. So at about 5:15, they were wheeling me back, and they called the surgery because the organ wasn't viable. And needless to say, it was a crazy week. We turned around and drove back to Norfolk that day, and I'm just now kind of getting around to being comfortable with it. I mean, I've been comfortable with it, but I've really relied on my friends in my group of recovery, in my program, and it was just such a roller coaster of a week. I kind of at some point really didn't know which way I was up because I heard so much differing information. So it's Sunday. It's 6:37. I'm sitting at my apartment recording this video. I'm back to square one. I can't go back to work for another 6 months. I really, really want to go back to work. I want to do anything. I want to cut grass. I want to wash cars. I don't care. I want something to keep me busy. More so for the fact that I need to pay bills and I want to live, and but I'm not going to focus on it because I know that the quality and the care of the staff at VCU during the process of getting everything ready and getting me back to that operating table was by far the most professional, and at times not professional, but very comforting. I mean, the nurse was spectacular. She really played to who I was, and I'll never forget her. And they made the right decision, and I have to know that I've made the right decision in choosing VCU as the hospital that I want to take care of me throughout this really, really difficult time. So yeah, I don't know. I'm here and I'm ready to keep going, and I'm just gonna keep waiting and keep being positive about it, and crack jokes about it when I can. Like I said, I tell people it was a good test run, because if I let myself stay down about it any longer, then it's gonna beat me, and I can't let it beat me. So it's because of all of the people that watch this, or even watch 5 seconds of it, or even see me out in public, or know me, or just wave to me, or a friendly face. It's because of all of you that I'm able to do this and able to remain so positive. And I'm just going to finish up here really quickly by saying that for the longest time, I didn't really take into consideration the effect that the transplant was going to take on me as far as viewing it from the donor and the donor family's eyes. And all I can say is that a young 19-year-old individual, I am not even sure if it was a male or female, but a 19-year-old unfortunately lost their lives way too early. And their life is being carried on in the eyes, the fingertips, the lungs, the heart, the kidneys of that person. And I was going to be fortunate enough to be a part of it. And I'll never hear his or her story. And but the family's decision to do what they did means a whole lot to me. And I'm never going to forget that person. And I never met them. I don't even know their whole story. All I know is that for a very, very, very brief period of time, I had this glimmer of hope, and it was squashed for about 2 seconds. And now I'm ready and willing to just go right back at it and wait and be as positive as I can about it, and continue on this track of healthy living. It's been almost a year now. It's been a little over 11 months, and there's no looking back for me. Even if, there was an inkling of an idea that I thought it was a good decision, I just don't ever want to ever again. I mean, I've found happiness in other things, and, I'm really grateful for that. So thank you so much for letting me share. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.